Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome back to the 26th episode of the Talkaholics podcast. This is Iman.
This is Raazia.
So today, this podcast starts on a serious-ish note.
Yeah. And it's about the story that you guys have probably heard of. Anyways, about Rahaf, who is that Saudi teenager who's escaped and is looking for asylum because her family's not treating her right.
And has found asylum in Toronto.
So it's a good story, ultimately.
Yeah. So we go into a bit about that. I mean, by the time you guys listen to this, I'm sure there's going to be more development.
Yeah.
But this is just our viewpoint on it, and then we move on to
like other movies.
Rom-coms.
We talk about rom-coms, that latest JLo movie that came out. What's it called again?
Second Act?
It tells you something about our review. We couldn't remember the title.
Second Act, yeah. Anyways, so we go from political into rom-coms, and that's
pretty much
basically it. So,
okay. Yeah,
as
hopefully
always,
the next episode will be a lot more lighter than this, but
that's okay. We need to get dark and deep sometimes. All right, guys, enjoy.
I have actually more movies to talk about, if we're okay with that.
I'm always okay with talking about movies.
Okay, so Wreck-It Ralph, the second movie came out.
I haven't seen it. I
Did
want
you
to
watch
see
it
it. It's so cute. Yeah, of course.
Okay. So
have I?
Another really, really trending trailer when it first came out. Holy smokes, when the trailer for Wreck-It Ralph number 2 came out. And for obvious reasons, it's not like this movie's really all that, loved, or, I mean, it's popular, but the reason why that trailer went crazy is because of, the Disney princesses that got announced to be in it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he's in, taking on the internet now instead of just, like, the arcade games. So really, I watched it primarily because of the princesses. I'm a bit of a Disney fan, and I was happy to see, like, first of all, the movie's really good. I watched the majority of the first one, and was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, but I think the second one really is, like, leaps and bounds better than the first one. Because, for two reasons. I think the comedy was better, especially with how they used the princesses, it was nice.
Okay.
But just like with the review of Spider-Man, like, it had an emotional core. So, basically, this is not really a spoiler, because the whole movie starts off this way, where it's just the main two characters, so Ralph and Vanellope, right? The
little girl.
Everyone. They're best friends, and they're just kind of enjoying their life together in that arcade space. And it goes into how Ralph is a little bit more needy, and he's super clingy when it comes to Vanellope, and wants to do everything with her all the time, right? And doesn't give her the space. And basically, the entire film, it's such an adult conversation about, like, giving people space.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And the fact that, like, you can be best friends, but not do the same things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can, you can still stay connected while not being in the same room. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was really, like, when I say they get into it, like, they totally get to a point where, like, Ralph has a breaking point, and, like, he is super, super almost self-destructive when it comes to, like, wanting to just, like, he's so afraid to lose her.
Oh,
because,
that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it gets very serious, like, especially by the end of it. They talk about it directly, which is nice. Like, it kind of had a Inside Out vibe, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's very much about life. It's very much about how kids should deal with certain things.
And they do deal with them.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, for that reason, it was really nice. And how they, like, the entire film also does a good job of explaining how the internet works, and, like, things about, YouTube and algorithms, all the way to, like, they do go into it.
Oh,
and,
okay,
like,
cool.
how the comment section is such a dark space, and, like, like, how you feel validated over, like, posting a video that is jumping on the latest trend or meme or whatever, and then wanting all the likes, like, that kind of stuff. Like, they go into every bit of it. Being a person who already kind of knows that stuff, and I think also being a kid too, like, you could be my niece's age, you could be 12 and know all of that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to me to see them. It's almost like they're teaching the audience, like, this is how the internet works, when it's like, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of, I don't know why they did it that way. Like, it's different to, like, teach a kid that versus making commentary about it. but it was more so like they kind of guided you through it. So I thought that was an interesting choice. But yeah, overall I thought it was much better. It was a lot more in depth than the first one, and even the main characters in the first one, like the Fix It Felix, and the other one, like the tall lady, the blonde short hair lady, who's like the shooter one lady. Those two have like the smallest roles in the movie.
Oh.
So they almost like put them aside. That was the first movie people.
Yeah.
Like, the new characters. So that was nice too. And you watched Jane the Virgin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in her. The main lady's.
Oh, Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's in.
Oh no way.
You know who she is when she comes up in the movie.
Oh okay.
Right.
Yeah, she has a couple of animated roles.
Yeah.
She's done a couple.
And it was nice. Like I liked her.
She's also become problematic, but.
Has she really?
Oh, you never heard the controversy over her?
No.
Oh, let me tell you, Raazia. Basically, I don't know if I've mentioned Jane the Virgin on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I love that show. It's hilarious. A lot of people don't like it because it's so dramatic, but that's entirely the reason why I like it, because it's supposed to be a dramatic show. It's supposed to be like a telenovela.
Mm-hmm.
Very dramatic and intense and funny. And I love Gina Rodriguez. I think she's, like, up until recently.
Whoa.
No, I'm not, like, completely against her. I'm just saying, like, there was a problematic thing that happened. Anyways, so she's always been very on top of, like, talking about inclusivity. Inclusivity? That's how you say it, right? Inclusivity in film and TV of, like, women and then women of color, as director, as producers, as actresses, but also in, like, you know, bigger behind-the-scene roles as well. And she was on, I don't remember where it was, I think it was a talk show or something, or some sort of discussion, I don't know, but there was, like, a discussion about how we need to see more, like, you know, diversity in the roles and stuff like that, and she basically said that, that Hispanic women, have less roles than African American women.
Okay.
And that they require more.
Okay.
Like, I guess, access. Like, it's you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and the way it was said was just, like, it just rubbed me the wrong way, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Right. Like,
and this was during an interview? Or like
it was like an interview or a talk show or something. I can't remember what it was.
Right.
But it's there. So it's been said. It's out loud. You know what I mean? And this was, like, literally 2018. Like, it wasn't long time ago either, right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot of people who, again, like, when she said that, were like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, like, we shouldn't, it's not, you are a person, like, a woman of color, you shouldn't be, like, only wanting to include diversity for your people, because then it's not diversity.
Yeah, and it's
you know what I mean? It's not inclusivity either.
Because you're already making a comparison between another group of people who are looking to fight for
if you're going to fight for diversity and inclusivity in Hollywood, in film and TV, you need to be doing it for all people in all avenues, not in just, like, one Hispanic women. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So it was a little disappointing because she's been such, like, a passionate advocate for it, and so to see that that's where her mind goes is kind of a little upsetting. Yeah. Especially to say it on a like, out loud. Yeah. You know, maybe that happens in your head, but, like, you know.
It is. That's true, though. That's true. And I think I don't know how much she thought about what she said.
Yeah, maybe it was just, like, she was, like, I don't want to make excuses for her because she said what she said, right? Like,
no, that's true.
Yeah, you can say, oh, I wasn't thinking, but you said it. It means you believed it. So, you know what I mean?
No,
so,
truly,
but, yeah, so a lot of people were like, oh, she's canceled and whatever, but, like, this last season of Jane the Virgin's coming on. It's the last season ever, so I'm gonna watch it still.
You're not gonna miss that out.
Like, I can't.
That's so funny.
But, yeah, like...
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But, actually, I was gonna talk about another movie, but we'll get to that. But just on the topic of controversy, this is actually really new. I only heard about this yesterday. Did you hear about that lady from Saudi who...
Yeah, yes. Oh, yes. The one 18-year-old, she was seeking asylum. Mm-hmm. She's from Saudi. I heard that she was on vacation with her family.
Yeah.
Somehow... I don't know where they went. Did they go to vacation in Thailand? Because that's where she was barricading herself.
No, I don't know where they were. So they went on vacation together.
Yeah.
She left them.
She, like, escaped from them somehow, and then she barricaded herself in a hotel in Thailand.
Right, because...
Right?
Thailand wasn't where she was supposed to be. She was supposed to be somewhere farther than that.
But she got her passport taken away by officials in Thailand.
It was like a stop before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where she ended up getting stuck, basically, because of Saudi's laws against, what is it called? Male guardianship. So obviously she was traveling alone. And they were like, you can't continue. So you're stuck
I didn't know that was a Saudi law.
Yeah, so...
Wow, that's a really dumb thing for me to realize, because me thinking, like, I was thinking it was only a thing when you go to, like, to do, like, Umrah or Hajj, because you have to take a mahram. So for people who don't know what that is, it's basically, like, a mahram is a male in your family who's blood related to you and has to be above 18 years old. So, like, your dad, your brother, cousin, if they're blood related.
Yeah.
Uncle, if they're blood related. Yeah. Like, blood related saying as in, it can't be your uncle of your mom's sister.
Who married into the family.
Yeah, like, it can't be someone who married into the family. It's someone, like, say, for example, it's your mom's brother or your dad's brother. That's, yeah. So, like, when I went to do Umrah, I had to go with either my dad or my brother. Yeah. But I didn't know that was a complete, like, I should have known, but I didn't know it was a whole Saudi thing. Like,
so...
you can't go anywhere in Saudi without a man?
Yeah, travel period.
Yikes.
Travel period. Obviously, marriage is...
I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And the thing is that... So, let's backtrack a second. Her name is Rahaf Al-Qunun. I can't do that properly. I'm sorry. But, yeah, she is 18 years old. The reason why she's wanting to leave her family, not because, like, she just doesn't like them or something. She's reported that they've physically abused her, actually, both psychologically and physically. And she also is not someone who believes in Islam anymore.
Yeah, so she denounced Islam.
Yeah, she wanted to leave the faith, and she's made that decision as now being an adult, right? She's 18. Which is fine. It's a decision of her own. And I guess because on top of male guardianship being a law in Saudi, you also can't, like, you can, like, if you leave the faith, that you can be killed. It's capital punishment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you say that you're not Muslim anymore, they can kill you.
Yeah, so which is
insane. Oh my god,
Saudi,
that's ridiculous.
I have my own opinions about the place.
Saudi needs a makeover, but
it's another thing altogether. That's a whole other topic. But so for obvious reasons, she has two big enough reasons to want to leave the place.
Yeah, of course.
Right now,
she actually's in Canada.
Already?
Yeah, she's in Toronto.
Oh, shoot. So, okay, yeah, so...
Yeah, I was listening to it on the news on the way...
so I knew Trudeau had already said...
Yeah, they welcomed her at Pearson today.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Oh, wonderful. So,
and they said that she's gonna take some time before speaking out to the public.
Nice, that's good. So, yeah, basically what happened is that I think she was trying to travel to North America. Tell me if I'm wrong, but on the way there, she got stopped in Thailand because of the male guardianship thing.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting.
She locked herself up in...
but how would they know in Thailand?
Because of her citizenship, they know that the rules are there, right?
Oh,
so they saw she has a
that's
passport.
But that's so weird. So even though you're out of Saudi and you're not traveling in Saudi, you can get stopped for not being with a man outside of Saudi.
Because I think it's travel period, right? Like, don't the laws apply to? So, for example, I'm trying to think. Like, even like when you travel from Canada elsewhere, and you're carrying, let's say, alcohol with you, and you're 19, you can, because the drinking age here is 19, whereas it's 21 in America. And they're not going to say, hey, no, you can't have that. Do you know what I'm saying? That. So I do think some of the things apply to your home country, right? Because then...
So, like, what if you had a stopover in Saudi? Does that not happen?
Well, because you're not... Because then the rules don't apply to you, because you're not...
Oh, because I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so she locks herself up in Thailand because obviously she doesn't want to return back. They threatened her to deport her.
That's one thing, though, I didn't understand. How do you barricade yourself in a hotel?
You lock the door.
Yeah, but don't they have a master key?
That's true, too. I don't know, because I remember...
Or are they just not allowed to go in there?
Without consent? I don't know. Like, what could they have done? Like, call the police to be... Well, I guess...
Yeah, you could open the door and the police could take you. But are they allowed to do that because she's not a citizen of Thailand?
So... No, what I'm thinking is what happened is that, she locks herself in that hotel room. She makes a video that she posts on Twitter to say, like, look, hey, I'm, I'm this person. This is what happened to me. I'm leaving Saudi. I'm leaving the religion. Someone, please, from the UN or from any other country that can accept me, please accept me because I'm not going back. What I'm thinking, to answer your question, is that I think probably that hotel or the people that work there, I saw as part of the video, some people were talking to her from outside the room saying, like, come out, and she was like, no, I'm staying in here. And I think they probably saw the video or heard of something because that thing spread like in like a few days. So maybe
they like sympathize with her.
I don't know the full details. It could have been like, just leave her alone, or
like she's not doing anybody any harm.
Even the hotel or the country of Thailand on a whole could have looked really bad if they had forced her out of the room.
That's true.
So
that's very
maybe
true.
They were thinking down those lines, but I heard as of like yesterday that Trudeau had said, she can come in here for asylum, and so apparently she is here in Toronto.
Yeah, she's here.
So,
I'm glad she's safe and that she found somewhere to come to that.
No, it made me sad, honestly. Overall, like, I hate hearing stories like this about, like, families, like, apparently, like, the father did come to Thailand, eh?
I didn't know that.
Come and get her, and the security people in the Thailand airport, I think, or somebody from Thailand was, like, an official was like, she said that you physically abused her, and he denied it. So, like...
Obviously, he denied it. He's not going to be like, yeah, give me my daughter.
Yes, I did do that, but please. But... So like even that scares me because like he came all the way, like, you know what I'm saying, like like just to come and get her, like. So I honestly overall, like, I felt really bad for her because honestly I don't think she's doing anything wrong. I think if anything she's being very honest with herself and knows what she wants, and she just wants to be safe ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I mean good for her. There's like she had the guts. She wasn't even like the fact that she knew that this was probably her only chance because she was out of Saudi to begin with. Like, it's not like she could run away and leave Saudi because that would have been harder.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think she was smart about
it. The fact that, like, she had the guts to, like, she's going on her own. Yeah, she's an adult, 18, but still, like, think of us when we were 18. Like, that's scary.
That's scary.
And you don't know how it's gonna. You don't know how it's gonna end. You don't know if any person is gonna be like, or any country's gonna be like, yeah, we'll welcome you in.
Yeah, it's such a
risk.
It's
a huge risk, and like, at the end of the day, like, she's not harming anybody. She can do whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, some people may be like, oh, well, she's giving a bad name to Islam and stuff like that. But
that's what I was gonna say.
Honestly, growing up in Saudi. And growing up in a family that physically abused, like, growing up with, I don't know if it's both her parents, whatever, whoever does it, but growing up in a family that physically abuses you, and then growing up in a country like Saudi that's very restrictive, and,
of women especially.
Of women, and it's not, and they say it's in the name of Islam, but it's not.
No, it's a lot more.
The kind of Islam that you were born into, like, I'm not surprised that you want to leave it, because... Yeah. Like, it's so restrictive, it hasn't done anything but hurt you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, it may be sad for, like, some people be like, oh, like, she's leaving Islam and all this stuff, and it'll make us look bad. But it's not about us, it's about her. She's trying to find safety, and she did it in the way she thought was best.
Yeah.
And we know that that's not the Islam, that's not, like, a true version of Islam. It's a twisted version of Islam, and, like, unfortunately, that was her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
so
for sure. Yeah, you kind of touched on a point that I was going to say, in that, like, for the most part, especially people our age, obviously going to be very supportive of her and, like, hope that she feels safe and is safe. But I do know there's, like, because the Muslim community can be like this, especially the older generation, of the view that they're going to take on the story is always, well, no, she shouldn't be, receiving asylum, because think of the word she'll be spreading about Islam and, like, blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm like, wow, your head is about the impact she'll make on the name of Islam. Well, meanwhile, you want her to instead go back and then
live? Killed? Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Because or pretend to be Muslim, which is that even any better?
It's not even. That's not really any better. You shouldn't. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, she has to live her own life, and if like, regardless of what she chooses, like, we have no control over that. Yeah. No one should have any control over what faith you just decide to be. Yeah. You just have to make sure that you're being a good human being and by being decent, and, like, being supportive. Like, if someone's not harming if you're not harming someone, why are you?
So I don't like when these stories become, when people take a story like this and make it more of a political conversation more than it is really about this girl and her well-being. So hoping she's feeling better here, and that she can begin a life that is of her own, and she feels safe again. So
yeah, but I'm sorry, one more thing. I was just thinking, because the reason why I heard about it or knew about the fact that she landed in Toronto today was that like, when I was in the car with my mom today, it was on the news, like, constantly. Like every like 10 minutes it would be like the same thing over and over again. And like something my mom said is interesting, which I have mixed feelings about it, but she was like she basically was mad because she was like not at the girl or anything like that. Right. She was mad. She was like the fact that the fact that people are covering it so much is because she's Muslim, she comes from Saudi, and she's denouncing Islam. So that's just another way to paint Islam as a bad religion. Right. And she's like, if it was anybody else in any other religion, would they have
the kind of support?
This kind of coverage on the news, on the media, as much as it was whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. You know, like, it's a hot topic, people, Muslims, whatever. But I also think that because she used social media as an avenue to reach out to the UN and stuff like that, I think it would have been pretty, like, widespread regardless. Yeah. And the fact that Canada's the chosen country, I think that's why it's kind of all over the news. But, it was an interesting thought.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. And I could see why, too, you would be concerned. Why? Because, like, again, it fits in the narrative of, like, a Muslim woman needing help or needing to escape, especially, like, a male-centered kind of restrictive space, and it needs saving. I think that's one way of looking at it, to be honest, and I don't think that that's really the story here. The story here is a woman who is, at her age, as brave as she is, making a decision for herself in her life. Really is the way that you should be looking at it. And
that's what she should be able to do.
Yeah, because that
regardless, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Sorry, I was gonna mention too, since like I knew that there was a third thing to that male guardianship thing. Oh. So it's marriage, travel, and getting a job. Yeah,
what?
You need to do that with a man. Yeah.
You need to get a job. You need to.
You
need to be with a man.
The requirement.
How does that work?
The requirement to obtain permission from their male guardian for activities such as getting a job,
that's insane,
or getting married. So, I mean, say for example, you were, your mahram or whatever, or even your
said husband, no, you can't have a job.
You're fucked. So I mean, that could be.
You know what? Like, it's so annoying. It makes me so mad. And like, I've been to Saudi twice. So
oh, really?
Yeah, I've been to Saudi twice. Yeah. It's beautiful, and like, it just makes me mad because it's like they try to cover up all these like little things like that, because recently, especially more recently, they're trying to be seen as a more progressive country with the whole thing like, oh, letting women to drive and all that stuff.
And right before that,
but you probably need permission from your damn husband to even.
The voting thing was not too far before that, and I was like,
oh yeah,
why are you celebrating? Like,
that's a common thing.
Literally, I think every other country besides North
they're trying to cover it up by these like new changes, and I'm like, you're still very controlling. Yeah. Even if you allow a woman to drive, if she can't buy a car without your permission, what's the point? If she can't even get her license without someone's permission or something like that. Yeah. Like, it's so. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because
and they all do it in the name of religion, and it's like that's not what the religion dictates. So I don't understand what you're doing out here.
I think for any Muslim woman, especially here, like in North America, the way that we look at Saudi is so conflicted because
it's somewhere that like. We go there for like a holy.
It's pilgrimage.
Yeah, it's pilgrimage. It's a very important place.
It's like out of all places like on the earth right now. Like that's a place where as part of your duty as a Muslim is to go there.
But it's also a place of such riches and greed and manipulation and just like really twisted and destructive politics. Like it's a really like it's a place that has so much evil, and it's really sad because it's supposed to be a place that has a lot of good. Exactly. People do go there to like cleanse themselves of their sins and like all this stuff. So it's like
that's like the greatest hyperbole ever because like you have both it happening in the same space, and especially as a woman, I think how much difficult life would be if you were there, right? So,
I have family members like when I was in Saudi both times we went to visit. We have family members in Saudi, and it's like my mom was telling me how a lot of these. Family members, not all of them were born in Saudi. They immigrated from like Ethiopia or whatever. Which, by the way, people are getting sent back to Ethiopia even if they were born in Saudi and they're not Saudi. They're not Saudian.
Because you can't get citizenship there.
That's what I'm saying. I was gonna say if you don't look like you're Arab, like Saudi Arab, you're not getting citizenship.
No, you're not.
Even if you were born in Saudi.
No, yeah. It's not like in Canada where like if you guys know like you stay here for a certain amount of time, whether
and
it's
you can get
work visa, whatever. Yeah, you can apply for citizenship so long as you're like contributing.
Same thing with the
States. Yeah,
I mean,
country, yeah.
to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, like you can work towards gaining your citizenship here if you stay here.
Yeah.
Long enough.
In fact, like in Canada, you get pushed towards immigration. You get pushed towards like getting your citizenship. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy out there. Yeah, it's insane.
It's rough. I hate hearing stories like this, but yeah, that's the world we live in. I find I always put Saudi and North Korea in the same bucket, and I hate that. That's the case. I honestly do. I hate that because do you know enough about North Korea to know like they live in a real dystopia? Like,
yeah.
Or, oh my god,
it's like insane like.
They have like very much a Big Brother like.
Yeah, they're always being watched, and you can't do anything about it.
You can't access the internet.
Yeah, like, it's insane.
You can't hold.
How do you get out? Like you can't.
You can't have a mobile phone. There's so many. I gotta look this up. So I took this this nonfiction course and this comic book course in university where we had to read this comic book that was about North Korea. It was about a Canadian journalist who goes to North Korea to just figure out what life is like there. And I think he's an animator too, like he's a cartoonist, so he goes there to help this project or whatever. It's called Pyongyang, which is the main city of North Korea, a journey in North Korea. And it's like well done. Like this book does a really good job of showing you how almost everyone there lives such a rigid and robotic and constricted life to the point where even his panels, everything's in black and white in the entire book. Oh. And everything's like shown in like the most, like all his panels are equal. You know how like with like books, uniform. Yeah.
But usually it's more like abstract. Yeah,
exactly. They kind of play with all of it. Yeah. Everything is like, nope, it's in the same boxes. And it goes in, like, I remember the one thing that hit me, and this gets highlighted even in documentaries about this country, is about how when he visited the school children there, and how their culture there is very much like young kids get raised to respect adults, right? And there's like a certain kind of respect you have to give when adults walk into the room. So he walked into the room, obviously as a guest, as someone who's a professional too. So all the kids are told to stand and like greet him, and then they had like a song that they wanted to sing him as a guest, and apparently like you could tell like because some of them were using musical instruments and some of them were singing, none of them were smiling and none of them were like happy or like dancing while they were playing. Everything was like rigid. I can tell I'm playing the violin to the notes I'm supposed to be playing and nothing's past that kind of thing. Yeah, and it was like so like ghostly, like how he was explaining it, and I was just like. Because even, like, you know that show called Departures? Did we talk about this at all? The same exact thing, of like, except in real life. Like, this was, like, a completely real-life shot documentary. They go to North Korea, and it's exactly that. Like, the kids get up, and they don't ask them any questions, and they perform, and then that's it. And it's like... it's just like... Because you're like, that's kids.
Yeah, that's kids. It's like they're so closed off from everything else. Yeah. And it's,
and to see kids not playing for me is, like... That's when you know something is like being fostered here from a very young age of like just obey, So really good book. I really like recommend you read it, and it's very short. It's a very very short read. So check that out when you can.
Wow, well that took a dark turn.
I know because the story's not like the happiest.
Yeah.
Okay, on a lighter note, another one of the movies I watched recently. It's a throwback. It's not like a recent movie. Okay. It's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is from Seinfeld. And James Gandolfini, who is like he was in The Sopranos and he passed away recently, like a few years ago. No, never heard his name ever.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he's like a bit of a celebrity, and like he's really well known in like the TV world.
I probably know his face.
Maybe he's just a bigger Italian guy who plays like a lot of Italian mob kind of roles. Like he's very intimidating.
I'm sure I've seen him before.
Okay.
I can't place the name in the face.
So those two are in a movie together, and it's in a rom-com.
What is it called?
Enough Said.
Nope, never heard of it.
Yeah. See, even for me, like, it was completely
was it good?
It was so good.
Really?
It was so cute. Because basically, it just is centered around two male-aged adults who both have been divorced before, like, recently divorced. And both have kids who are leaving to go to university, like, abroad. And it's about them meeting each other in, like, a same kind of life situation and how they get to know each other. But obviously, it's complicated and, like, the main lady kind of fucks up a bit, but it's so it's so funny and so like heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to see Gandolfini in that role because, like I said, like he plays really serious roles. He plays that guy you don't want to mess with, like bodyguard.
Yeah,
type,
yeah,
like,
okay.
Don't. But he's such a teddy bear. So it's so weird to see him like be soft and like be romantic when at the same time like I know how terrifying you can be in shows. So I was like so conflicted with like him on screen. But it was so cute.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
The entire time I was just like, you're so cute. The both of you are so sweet. You would love it. I think you would really, really like
maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
A rom-com that hasn't done well recently is the new Jennifer Lopez movie.
You actually watched that one. Okay. How was it?
No, it was not good. Raazia, I was so disappointed.
I'm not surprised. Okay.
Why are you not surprised? J-Lo and rom-coms are usually good.
I think she has her own market for that. Like
she like Made in Manhattan.
Oh my God.
Like a couple years ago, like The Backup Plan.
Yeah.
What to do when you what to do when you're expecting? What's that movie?
Oh, I think that the
she wasn't the main one, but she's in that.
There's another one around the Made in Manhattan era.
Yeah. What is it called? Good. I can't remember. But Monster-in-Law.
Monster-in-Law was so good.
Like she's been. It's you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and I don't think it was J-Lo's fault.
Okay.
I really truly believe it's the script. It was so bad.
Okay.
It was so bad. I don't know who wrote it. I'm so sorry, but like. It wasn't good. It was awkward. It was like, it felt like, you know when you're in grade 9 and you think you're a good actor, but you're not? That's what it felt like.
Whoops. Sorry, J-Lo. Oh my God.
No, and it, like, I truly believe it wasn't J-Lo. It felt like really, it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like the transitions didn't flow. It was really choppy.
Okay.
The jokes, like, fell flat. Like, the joke itself, like, it was funny, but it just felt wrong, like misplaced, or like it just fell flat. They were weird. I feel like the story could have been so good. It just wasn't written well, and like it's like as a whole, I don't think it was produced well.
And see,
it was upsetting.
The funny thing is, I kind of suspected this from the trailer, which like broke my heart because I love J-Lo in movies. Actually.
Yeah,
I'm such a fan, especially like Made in Manhattan.
Honestly,
I
know what you're talking about because the trailer, even right in the beginning when she's with her husband in the beginning of the trailer, like. It was really, it felt awkward, right? It didn't feel like
you know what the biggest
real.
thing told me that they didn't know what they were doing in that movie?
What?
So, like, the core thing to, like, J-Lo movies, or most rom-coms, right? It always starts off with, like, this humble girl who looks very normal, who, like, is very down-to-earth, doesn't think that she's pretty, whatever, and it becomes this, like, sensation.
Yeah.
She starts off, like, she's someone who, like, she gets, like, a big job and she becomes something, right? Or
like, her friend's son creates a profile for her that tells her that she's someone, I don't know.
Yeah, right. So
and then she gets a high profile job, but she hasn't been to college.
Right. So even before she becomes that hotshot person or whatever, in the beginning of that trailer when they show her being normal or like whatever she is herself in the beginning, I'm like, you look like you're J-Lo who's like successful now. Like, they didn't tone out any of her makeup or her hair. Like, go back and see. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
In that.
Well, she was like an assistant manager at a supermarket or something.
Right. So okay, yeah. To my point, then I'm like, but you don't look
like
Whose
that.
hair looks like that, blow dried and nice, and like done up when you work at a grocery store. Like,
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and her makeup was on point, and it didn't really change. Like, for me, that transition was pivotal to liking a movie like that when that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It was definitely it was definitely weird, and there's a twist in the movie that I predicted.
Okay.
But is so not in line with what the movie's about. Okay. Like, it's really random.
Can I know? Because I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler. So basically, when you watch the trailer, what do you think the movie's about? It's about the fact that she's faking. About being this high profile like person, like she's been to college, she has all these accomplishments, so she can do this job, right? And then you're thinking, okay, she's gonna get caught, and then people are gonna be mad at her. She might fall in love with stuff like that. Well, she's already in love, but she's gonna have she's gonna break up with her boyfriend, and then it's all gonna come together at the end.
Right, exactly.
Let me tell you,
she's a good person.
Let me tell you. Now, there's a second plot, but it's about the same person.
Okay.
So like. Usually if there's a second plot, it's about, like, secondary characters. No, it's still about J-Lo.
Okay.
So,
of course.
You find out early on in the movie, not early on, like, ish in the movie, that she had a child, but she was really young, so she gave the child up for adoption.
Okay.
Okay, so, like, that's something that you find out randomly, like, pass-by conversation thing.
Right.
You don't really think about it.
Okay.
Oh, you know who's in this movie, by the way? Vanessa Hudgens. Okay, so she gets this job. So she's the assistant manager of whatever, some supermarket thing. She gets this job because she doesn't have any social media or whatever, so her friend's son makes social media for her, tells them that she's been to Harvard and all these things, and she has all these accomplishments, and so she gets this high-profile job as a consultant for, like, this beauty company. And they give her a new condo and everything, and her boyfriend, like, leaves her because he's like, this is not honest, like, whatever, and she's like, but, you know, and so, like, they separate, whatever, she's living her life. But her thing is, like, oh, like, they make, you know, skincare and stuff like that, and she's like, oh, you know, but it's not 100% or, like, all natural. We say it's all natural, it should be natural. And so she gets into, like, this product war against the, like, VP or whatever, who's Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay.
And so, like, Vanessa Hudgens, like, gonna make it...
I see where this is going.
Yeah. Okay. So Vanessa Hudgens is gonna make it, like, the product a little more natural, but it's still not gonna be 100% natural.
Okay.
But it's gonna be more cost-effective, whatever. And then J-Lo's challenge is to make it, like, 100% natural, whatever. They go through this whole big thing. So... watching the movie, my thing is, like, oh, Vanessa Hudgens is gonna find out that she's the one. She's not true to who she is, blah, blah, blah. No! That's not the twist!
Okay.
That's not it. Do you know what the twist is? Guess.
The daughter is her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that random?
Okay, so what was the point? My daughter is correct this entire time? Like, I gave birth to someone who was, like...
No, it's just, like, she finds out that, she finds out... And plus, the way they do it in the film is, like... It's not even, like, a big thing. It's like, Vanessa...
Oh, you're my daughter.
No. Because, first of all, the dad knew.
Oh, okay.
Like, the dad... sorry, I should probably preface this. The person who gave J-Lo the job is Vanessa Hudgens' dad. He's the one who owns the company.
I see.
And he knows that J-Lo is her birth mother.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he gave her the job. But then when he saw all these qualifications, he was like, oh, even better. Like, she's actually good for the job.
Right.
But she didn't have these qualifications.
Right.
And then... So, eventually, he tells Vanessa Hudgens, like, yo, by the way, that's your mom.
Right.
Right? And then so she just, like, comes over one day and she's like... She kind of shows her something. And J-Lo's like, I gave that to you when I was... You know, like, she recognizes it. And she's like, ah. And they're all like, ah. And then so J-Lo's, like, conflicted now because she's like, oh, my God, I have my daughter back, but I'm a fraud. And then, basically, it goes into that whole thing. So it was kind of random.
It sounds like a mess.
But, like, the storyline had so much potential, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. And it didn't seem like such a shit cast. Like, I like the best friend character. Was it Leah Remini?
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, I love her.
But the way they, like, put, like, where they put her jokes and, like, everything, it just didn't...
It didn't match.
It didn't,
you know what
it didn't work well.
It sounds like a lot of comedic movies come off this way now. Of, like, you know what? Even with our... problem with Night School, in that, like, you had a good cast and you had some really funny side characters in the movie were perfect.
On their own, great, but the movie as a whole, terrible.
Thinking of the plot as a whole, so it felt like what they did with this movie too was they got the cast first, which was like pretty decent, not as good as Night School, but pretty decent. Like, they got Leah Remini, they somehow booked J-Lo, they got Vanessa Hudgens. Okay, we have that star-studded cast, and then they went, let's make the movie for it now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they didn't make the role. It just, I don't know. It was disappointing. And I know, like, we all know J-Lo can do much better.
Yeah.
So,
and
it kind of sucks.
She's been in TV a lot too, though. Like that cop show she did for a while.
I never watched it.
I never saw it. It didn't do. I saw it. It didn't get extended past the first season. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's like she's just kind of out of it now, or like hasn't found the right thing. But I do miss like the older. Back in the day.
I also think that movies back in the day were a little better.
Yeah, they were better. I don't think
like in terms of just like the way they wrote things. Like obviously our quality now is better, but like storylines and scripts and stuff, like there's a lot of good stuff from back in the day. A couple years ago.
Mother-in-law sticks out for me. That's like a really
Mother-in-law's hilarious.
That's such a good, especially because of that mom.
Character.
Yeah. She's terrifying. Love that.
But yeah.
What are we for time? We good?
Almost 40 minutes.
Okay, do you want to wrap up? There's not really much else.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
The only thing else, so basically I got forced by friends to watch Game of Thrones. Finally.
Wait, you've never watched Game of Thrones?
No, I've almost entirely avoided it.
What? Why? It's pretty good.
So
other than the fact that they just use too much sexual things for no reason.
No, they do. Okay, that's definitely why
in the first episode.
Yeah. So no, I honestly the reason not that I'm like against the show or something like it's just that by the time like I got around to it, it was already in their like 7th season or whatever, and like
that's why I stopped watching.
So I was like, I can't put and there's like per season there's like 20 plus episodes I think. So I just don't have 10. I just really
10 per season
for all 8.
I'm
I think
pretty
it was
sure
20.
No,
oh, okay,
I don't think so.
Okay, because it's not a mini series.
I'm pretty sure it's 10 per season.
Okay.
Isn't that the whole thing? Like 10 episodes?
But for miniseries, yes, but not for like.
No, I'm saying for Game of Thrones. I think that's what it was. Like 10 episodes. I could be wrong. I don't watch the show.
But no, so I've just watched the first 2.
Oh, okay.
And again, I've been avoiding it because I just didn't want to commit that much time to getting into a show. I haven't never been like so like attracted by it. Like it's not like Handmaid's Tale where I've been like hooked. I knew right away I was gonna love this show. It has 10. You're right. It has 10. Well, still a lot for me to commit to.
Yeah.
Overall, I think the writing is good. I can see why it attracts people because I like how they do a good job of introducing all the characters within the first episode. Like I noticed how like every single character got covered off. You know something about them, which was nice. My thing is like I have such a problem with Khaleesi's character, and I can't get past it.
Why?
Because okay, first of all, we know in the first episode she's just a complete victim, right? She's someone who is completely controlled by her brother.
Yeah.
Who is basically sold off to this other guy for political reasons.
Yeah.
And is raped the entire time. And
that was messed up.
And
because people really like romanticize that relationship between Khaleesi and that dude. I can't remember his name.
Called Draco.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
They really romanticize it, but hello.
It's toxic.
He bought her and then just had sex with her without her consent.
Yeah, for sure without her consent. She's fucking crying. And then the second episode continues to be that way. And like there's a part where she's still being raped, and then halfway through the episode she's talking to that girl who's like fixing her hands or whatever, and she's been a prostitute for majority of her life, and she's like, oh, can you teach me how to make Khal Drogo happy? And then she shows her, and so and then in my head I'm like, at what point did you want to make him happy? I was so confused. I was like, the entire time you are disgusted by him, you're afraid of him because of obvious.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, maybe I should just try to like him.
Which, see, I was like, you needed to have a middle point there.
Where was that realization? Yeah. Where was that, like, oh, I actually do like him. He's great.
You know what should have happened? What should have happened is that Khal Drogo should have shown very clearly that he didn't like her.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Either he didn't like her, or he was acting a certain way because that was what he was expected of him.
Yeah.
Like, of his role, because he was, like, the leader or whatever.
Yeah, no, what it should have been, because, like, really, her brother is making sure that she keeps him happy so that he can have his army.
Yeah.
So what should have happened is that Khal Drogo should have made some communication with her brother to say, look, your sister's not holding up for something. Like
and then she's like, oh, I gotta do better.
And
and
then she gets in, like, then it would make sense because she's a bit of a, what's that syndrome called? Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. And then it would have made sense for her to ask that and then, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, I like, this entire time Khaleesi is strong in that she is smart in asking questions. And, like, look, you know, she's paying a lot of attention to those dragon eggs, so you can tell she's thinking about other things.
Yeah.
And then for all of a sudden, her need and want is not to make herself happy, but to make Khal Drogo. Like, it just, I was like, wait, what? You're missing a part here. That didn't make sense. Maybe it's in the books, but, I'm frustrated by it, because I hate stories like that. It's, like, pretty, like, I don't know, it's dark for me, but overall, like, I like the costumes are nice. Like, it's refreshing to me, because I don't get to watch a lot of fantasy movies or TV shows, and so it's nice that it's like traditionally fantasy too. It's like medieval time fantasy. Yeah. So that's nice and refreshing. I'm sure it gets better. Like everyone.
Yeah, it does get better.
Been telling me
it does. I've watched the first season. It gets better.
Yeah. So a lot of people have been telling me.
I've started the second season. I can't remember.
No, a lot of people have said the 4th and 5th season is where it gets really impressive, like writing wise.
I don't know if I'm gonna get that far.
So, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know how many. Yeah, I don't know if I have that. By the time April comes around, I'm not gonna have time.
Yeah.
I have like 6 shows that I'm like so committed to that I want to pay attention to those things. I think I've been spoiled by Handmaid's Tale too.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's a show that's so good at keeping up a very fast pace.
Yeah.
And like grabbing your attention. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones, you have to force yourself almost to listen. To be like, I need to listen to all the details because
Yeah.
it's all so intertwined.
And there's so many characters.
That too. That's
so many stories going on.
Yeah, that's exactly why. So I don't know. But overall, yeah. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody to watch it. That show has more hype than any other show out right now.
Very, yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents. Maybe I'll change my mind if I keep watching. But
we will see.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, as always. You can catch us on, well, I'm sure you're either listening on YouTube or SoundCloud. You know where we are. Instagram is at Talkaholics Pod. I'm going to sneeze, so Raazia, take over.
And you can obviously find us. I love that was recording. Oh my god, so cute. You can also say bless you to Iman via Gmail.
Email, bless you.
To Iman, bless you, love you, bye. So yeah, Instagram, Gmail, YouTube, SoundCloud. You guys know what it is. All those places we're available. Our 26th episode. We're looking forward to a lot more past this, and hopefully lighter ones than just the topics we touched on.
Yeah. But anyways, as always, we will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.